Welcome to In Focus, where we go one-on-one with the Republican field of presidential candidates. I'm Tara Wall, your host. He's the son of a president, two-time governor, and now grandfather who calls the Sunshine State home. I sat down with Jeb Bush to talk about why he wants your nomination for president and a few things you probably didn't know. And today, joining us for In Focus is former Florida Governor Jeb Bush. Welcome, Governor.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming and joining us on In Focus.
Honored to be here.
All right, well, let's dig in and get right to it. First and foremost, the question everybody wants to know, why are you running for president?
I'm running because I think we're on the wrong track, but if we fix a few big complex things, applying conservative principles and reforming the things that are broken in government, this will be the most extraordinary time to be alive in this world. If we fix how we tax, how we regulate, fix a broken immigration system, embrace our energy revolution, all these things, if we do this, we could grow at 4% per year instead of the anemic 2%, and that would create a dramatically different trajectory for our country. We'd have rising middle income, who hadn't gotten a raise in 15 years. We've had these big structural challenges we haven't fixed, made worse by the last 6 years under President Obama. The poor are stuck in poverty. We have more people poor, even though we've spent massive amounts of money transferring monies to people in poverty, but now we have intergenerational poverty that is tragic. So we have to fix the things that make it possible for people to rise up. And my motivation is to do just that. And I have the leadership skills to do it because I did it. I did it as governor of the state of Florida, where I had the privilege of implementing things rather than just talking about them. I cut taxes every year, $19 billion total in 8 years. We reduced the state government workforce, but we created a business climate that ended up creating 1.3 million new jobs in the state, higher than any state in the country other than California. We are one of 2 states that went to AAA bond rating. I left the state with $9 billion of reserves. They called me Vito Corleone because I brought discipline to the budget process. We reformed our education system, and it's now a model, literally the model for the rest of the country. So I think having gone through this of applying conservative principles with a passion for reform and having leadership skills to make tough decisions is just what we need in our country right now.
Yeah, and speaking of those issues that you mentioned, and you also mentioned them in your campaign video online, you talked about the fact that the least among us should not be in the back of the line, but the front of the line. And you touched on education reform, education opportunity, jobs, all of those issues, even domestic violence and some issues with people with disabilities. So among all those issues that you really kind of touch upon, think about what is the biggest concern in your view that's facing our country right now?
Well, we have one big concern, which is now people are fearful of their own security. They don't think the United States is safe. As we've pulled back, we have these new threats, and those threats are Islamic terrorism in the Middle East, but it's also the potential of homegrown terrorism. It's the reemergence of Russia and the emergence of China. Our weakness has created instability and insecurity. So I think the here and now threat is a tepid, weak foreign policy needs to change, where our friends know that we have their back and our enemies twitch a little bit. I mean, they fear us a little bit so that we can create a more peaceful world, which requires us to rebuild our military, support our veterans, stay focused on the traditional role of the United States in the world. But beyond that, the big social challenge in our country, and the one that I think Republicans really need to focus on, is the lack of economic mobility. The left will talk about inequality. They'll talk about how unfair it is that people that are successful. That's not going to help anybody that's stuck in poverty. It's not going to help anybody in the middle change the path they're on of declining disposable income. The way you do that is make it possible through high sustained economic growth where more and more people have a chance at earned success. And imagine a country that everybody could reach their full potential, whether they're developed, as in my case and the things that I brought up. I do believe that the most vulnerable should be in the front of the line. We should empower them. We should be compassionate towards them, not just through government, but just acting on our own as well. But having said that, there's also lots that could be done to give people a chance at earned success. High growth is one of the ways to do it. a higher quality education system, job training programs. Let's don't, I mean, conservatives will win when we have a broader, more hopeful, optimistic message. And frankly, we'll win when we go give that message to people that haven't heard it in a while. You can't make the sale unless you actually go make it. And that's something that I know the RNC has done a really good job on in the last few years, and I embrace that as well. I did it as governor. I did it as a candidate. I did it when I announced my campaign. If you saw the faces of the people, that's the future of the country, and Republicans will win if we embrace that future.
And so let's talk a little bit about you personally on a personal level. Folks know, of course, the name, you are a Republican, but many people may not know why you're a Republican. Talk about why you became a Republican or are a Republican.
I became a committed Republican when I campaigned for my dad in 1979 and 1980, and then campaigned for the Reagan-Bush ticket. Up till then, I took off from my job to work for my dad, not because I had thought it all through. I just loved the greatest man alive. It was payback time. I felt like, gosh, what a blessing to grow up being George and Barbara Bush's son, and I wanted to pay back and show my gratitude for that. But once I got in it and I heard, particularly Reagan was my inspiration. The president really did inspire me to think these things through. And I'm pretty nerdy about these things. I'm pretty policy driven. And so starting then, I started a journey of embracing the broader conservative principles, the less reactionary side of our philosophy. And I'm all in. I mean, it's too late now. I've been doing this for 30 years. I've campaigned with a lot of the great conservative leaders of our time, and I embrace that philosophy. You
mentioned your dad, and certainly he, I'm sure, had much influence on your life. Are there others, or is there one person in particular that had significant influence on you and on your life personally?
I do a lot of reading, and there are great leaders in history that inspire me each and every day. Washington, Lincoln, those would be the two, I think, of our greatest presidents. Having the strength, the fortitude to stay with it, having the integrity, and having a compass that points north. Those aren't necessarily conservative values, but it just so happened that those two presidents, I think, are the symbol of the values that I appreciate and respect.
And of all the things that people may or may not know about you, when you walk away from here, what would you tell people, one thing that they probably don't know about you?
Well, it's a surprise for people to learn that someone who has been a governor for 8 years and has run for office and is in the public all the time and is running for president of the United States is an introvert. I'm an introvert, so I don't, it is what it is. It's part of my DNA. So I overcome introversion to do this. I think that actually makes me a better candidate.
This is quite a job for an introvert.
It is a little bit, but I think you're a better listener. You can garner insights better. It's not all about me. Introverts don't focus on, I don't need to be the center of attention. I want my ideas to matter, and I care about people. And that's a slightly different approach. Most politicians are not introverts, so that might be different.
Well, great. Thank you so much, Governor. We certainly appreciate having you for this edition of In Focus, and wish you good luck out there on the campaign trail.
Thanks. It's a blast.
I'm Tara Wall. Thank you for watching In Focus. You can check out the series at GOP.com.